Welcome to another episode of Pure Transparency. We're your hosts,
Egawumi.
Anayoli Jennings.
Today's episode is brought to you by So You Think You're Polly by Anayo Lee. So,
Oh, let me. There we go. Look at
today's topic is the importance of help building the bond between your
it.
partners, and or your partner and their metamour.
hmm
Please
And
expound on
for
that.
those that doesn't know what Metamor is basically it's your partner's partner.
Okay.
It's a partner that you do not have relationship vibes with, but you have a bond to share that you're sharing the same woman or you're sharing the same man, you know, either order, or you sharing the same man and woman, right? You're not being engaged as sexually or in love, but you're sharing them. So yeah, I think that the a lot of times in the poly scene, what we do is like as a man, when I first came into poly, I was like, you know what? I want all these women. I want this. I want that. I want this. And I felt like it was about me. This is
Mm-hmm.
me, 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 me. And then throughout the years and through failed situations, right? You learn. Some of us learn, some of us don't. But what we do is we sit over here and we say, all right, it's not about me. Because if my partner is not happy and they come into the situation because they like me, but they're not happy, so then that turns and that energy turns inward on a dynamic. Or if me and my partner is happy, right? But my other partner or my partner's partner is not happy, then that energy turns in on a dynamic and it can turn that dynamic to be in a frustrating situation or a toxic situation. So
Mm-hmm.
now either all three or four or however many, most of y'all are at each other necks over nothing because now y'all can't stand each other. Then it becomes competition. And when the competition comes, you're trying to wing everybody to see your side against one person or two individuals. And it
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't be like that. And that's all because when you started the dynamic, you was only focused on your partner. You was only focused on the people you was having sex with. You wasn't worried about building bonds with people you wasn't being intimate with. And
Mm-hmm.
they are important because those bonds will always save the relationship. Those bonds will always be like, hey, it's clarity because they're not
Mm-hmm.
fucking you.
Mm-hmm.
They're not fucking you. They'll do things to make you happy, but they're not going out their way to try to keep you happy, right? They're just,
Mm-hmm.
hey, content. We share something. So we don't talk enough about, hey, can I help and build, that serenity, that peace,
Mm-hmm.
that sisterhood between my wives, or if you are in a or if you have two husbands, can I help and build that brotherhood between my two husbands?
Mm-hmm.
Can I sit up here and aid to that? Because that's all you can do is aid to situation. You can't force the situation. You can aid though. You can always apply pressure and saying positive pressure and being like, yo, I got you. Hey, how about we do this? Because it's not always about one-on-one time,
That's true.
even though one-on-one time is important. Why can't we all sit down and watch the same movie together? Spend time as a family? Why can't we eat as a family?
Mm-hmm.
Even though one-on-one dates is cool, why can't we go out on dates together as a family? And I'm
Mm-hmm.
not talking about those dates to go out to say, hey, I'm Bale. You know, let me sport my women to show them off like trophies, or let me sport my men to show them off like trophies. No, you go out because you're going out to please each other and to have a
Mm-hmm.
good time, not to show your dynamic. And that's where people get this mixed up emotions, because a lot of people just do it because it's a phase, it's a fad. Other people like it, so this is what I want. But other, people like me will be like, this is life. Now you fucking it up for everybody. Now you got people scarred, because when you dealing with poly, you get extra scarred, you get
Mm-hmm.
extra hurt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your trust level go down +2 or 4. However many people you have in there, it always doubles. So now you got to understand, if you're not in this for the pure heart to say, yo, I'm trying to build and get to know people and have them get to know me. And we're in this for understanding. And then even though we have a situation where it's content and it's beautiful, now I got to make sure my partner have the same type of situation with the people I choose to be involved with, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to also say, even though me and this person vibe, me and this woman vibe, and she's like everything. But if she's toxic to what I already built with, that's problematic. And
Mm-hmm.
people don't do that. People say, well, this is mine, you mind your business. That's toxic. Any toxic behavior should not be allowed. And any belittle behavior should not be allowed. People have to build the sense of respect for everyone. Even though everyone hold individual personal connection, you should all have the same similar bond with each other. And it should be a family bond, rather it being, I'm just having a connection with him, fuck everybody else. What's your opinion?
I agree with that. Me being in this situation and being new to the poly scene, as I should say, and um, what appealed to me about this situation is the family aspect, the building of an empire, and securing everybody in the empire. And it was just like, for the first time, I mean, of course, when you're in a poly situation, people are like, you're on an interview, right?
Right.
So like, you finally meet that one person that um, answers your questions. That's what I was looking for. That's the answers I'm looking for. And then he puts you in this dynamic, but before he puts you in a dynamic, he's actually trying to figure out who you are, and he's actually talking to you every day. He's in your head. He's like, look, what makes you tick? What make he does things on purpose to see what makes you tick. And so then now you're just like, okay, so I get it. I get it. And then he places another person there in your life, and he was like, I want you to talk to this person. And you're like, okay, that's what you want, because you realizing that it's not about you. So my personal hangups and my personal feelings is out the back door. That's the whole point of saying I give you my yes with the poly situation. And then when you meet the young lady, and you're just like, I see what you see. I see what you see, and I respect it. Now I love her for myself. You see what I'm saying? Now this is my sister, and not in no romantic way, but this is my sister. And now I'm going to make
Hmm.
sure she's okay for him. Are you okay? Because when he can't, I have to step up because this is my
Right.
sister. You see what I'm saying? And then to make sure that
Hmm.
we're all okay. Um, Now for this first time today, it's certified for me. Like this is a this vibe is undescribable. Like it's just like this is it. This is like it's solidified things for me. For one, it's definitely a family. It's definitely not a
Right.
competition thing between me and her. It's definitely, I mean, we had our bumps in the beginning. Don't get me wrong, guys. Like you have to mush together with another personality, right? And they have their hangups and you have their hangups. But when you get pushed past that, it's like, oh my God, you're my dog. Like you're everything that I would have wanted in a sister for myself.
Right.
And that you're that part that I'm not for him, which is most important. And not only that, to
mm,
see how he looks at her and how she looks at him, I don't have to worry about her when it comes to him. And it's just like, I appreciate the fact that he took his time and he actually are studying us to make sure that we mush together. And now that we're vibing together, I'm like, yo, I talk to them both every day. Like this is it became an important part of my life. And it's just like poly could be a beautiful situation when you have a leader or the head of the family. And I know most people gonna be like, a leader. Yes, he's the head of the family. When you have somebody that actually understands, actually cares, and doesn't have hidden motives, and then he creates the space for you, and he creates that space for her, and he creates that space for everybody, and it actually works. The vibration is high. Your relationships is high. Like you're in a better
mm,
mood because what? I don't have to worry about anything. I don't. I don't have to worry about the stuff I used to worry about before I met him. And it's not about a financial thing. It's really emotional, like the emotional
mm,
base of it. And it's just like that. That's what's most important, and everything else would fall into place. But this had to make sure that it meshed together in order to fall in place. And somebody that actually has that vision and knows how to implement it. I mean, true enough, you have trial and error, but I don't know what else he went through before he got to us. But I know now, I'm like, I see your vision. And it was just like a click for me. I'm like, damn, that. And that's why he said that. And oh, that's why that doesn't matter. That's why this matter. Okay, you can hash it all out in order for the greater good. See the
mm.
greater good. That's
Yeah.
the beauty
So
part of
where a lot
that.
of people don't, where a lot of people don't realize is the connection part. Like once you build with one person, right? That's cool, right? And then when you go and you tell them and say, hey, I want you to go and see what I see in this other person. Then
Mm-hmm.
it's as if the first thought in their mind, my time, because in the beginning it's the illusion of it's just us. Even though you already be like, we're poly, you realize it. But then when they be like, yo, talk to this other person, it makes it real, right? To people
Mm-hmm.
that's like, damn, I wasn't ready. I was just enjoying the moment of us. You know what I'm saying? And then now I got to meet this other person. So genuine people will be like, all right, let me meet this person, and I don't know if this person gonna be right. I don't know, da 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 da. But they'll still be open to meeting a person and embracing the person for who they are, whether they good or bad, right? But the problem comes in of it is you will always find out who's meant for you when you do that. Because then when you mix people up and the fairy tale go away, right, a little bit, what happens is people show their ass. And when they show their ass, oh, I don't like this person. I'm like, you don't even know them. Why? What don't you like? It's just something about it, right? Or they'll be like, they'll stop talking to you. Now, listen, I did it before. I did, chats. Like when we in the chat, right? And then I had a woman be like, all right, we're gonna do a three. We're gonna put everybody in one chat. Then everything get quiet. No more good mornings, no more nothing. And that happened to me like three times. And I was like, maybe they wasn't ready. Then I had a situation where, I was like, there's something about this one over here. I don't know what to say, but it's something negative, right? And I was like, it's going to show itself. And then, I had the ladies meet. And then next thing you know, and it was four of them. And then next thing you know, the three got along. Then they got along with the fourth one, but the fourth one that I didn't know, I felt like a negative vibe from. It was more of a control vibe. And then
Mm.
they got upset because they wanted to be the first partner. And I'm like, you can't be the first partner when someone already had partners. You get what I'm saying? That's kind of
Mhm.
selfish. So they're supposed
Mhm.
to get rid of their partners for you. So a lot of people go into the poly dynamics and poly searching for their own narratives. They would be like, I
Mhm.
want you, but I don't want your partner. And it's like, dude, that me, I'm a person like, no, my loyalty is on 20. You get what I mean? Not on 10. From 1 to 10 is on 20. So it's more on like, no, these people showed and proved themselves to
Mhm.
have my back and I got theirs, right? We're building around and building, inviting. It's not no hierarchy because everybody's still on the same level. But at the end of the day, when the person comes in, right, you can't come in thinking that everything is about you. That's not
Exactly.
fair because it's not going to always be about you.
It's not.
You know, the most important thing about it, it's about us. That's the
Mhm.
most important factor is growth. The
Mhm.
whole dynamic growing rather than you trying to grow as an individual. I had a woman before. I've been through, everybody go through things when especially when they seeking this lifestyle. So and you're gonna go through the people that want to be involved in your dynamic because they want to benefit off of your how your lifestyle is.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? They want to drive your cars and live in your place and be like, "Oh, I love you," but they don't really love you. They're not really involved. They're just enjoying. They want to play a free place to stay.
Mhm.
Or flip side, you want people that want you to be involved with their dynamic because they want you to watch their kids. They want you to help pay their bills, but then they'll treat you like shit. They'll
Exactly.
treat you like you second. So these are things to watch out for because they're not trying to build with you. They're trying to build off you.
Mhm.
And a lot of people don't realize these things. You know, I wrote three poly books just to try to help people, no matter what stage that they are. I wrote so you think you're poly for people that's just new to the lifestyle and don't understand. I wrote a dynamic change for people that's been in the lifestyle and that's switching on and off to try to figure out what fit them. Then I wrote monogamy is not for me for people that say, yo, I'm poly through and through, but they still go issue. Everybody's going to go through issue the more that you go through this process. The problem is people don't realize, you got to keep account of your turnover rate. If everybody, if you have a high turnover rate, and I'm not talking about of dating, I'm talking about actually being in relationships. Maybe you need to do some self soul searching
Yes.
because that's your issue. Maybe it's you and your wife or you and your husband or whatever. But that's soul searching because if it can't be everybody that comes into your dynamic, they the toxic one. Because maybe it's you, maybe it's your wife, maybe it's both of y'all together.
Mhm.
Maybe, if you sitting over here and you inviting and this mostly happen with women. They invite women into their relationship and they say, "All right, we're a triad," and then next thing you know, they only call you when they want to have sex. But when they go take family trips, it's only them. That's
Mhm.
not a dynamic. That's
No, it's
people that's preying on you to have threesomes. You
right.
know, so we need to sit up here and be hold ourselves accountable to play what instrument we're playing in other people's lives. And this is why I hold when before I invite people into my dynamic and stuff like that, I gotta make sure because I gotta protect house at all costs. I
Mhm.
gotta make sure that, no one's gonna come in and disturb because at the end of the day, you can have the most perfect dynamic you want. You can bring in the toxic individual, it's gonna fuck up everything. And even after
Mhm.
that person leave, that energy is still gonna be there. Don't think that it won't, because it will. And that's the issue. When you're dealing with so many emotions and so many hearts and what I mean, and the trust because that's what it is, it's trust.
Yes.
You're dealing with other people's trust. And
Mhm.
when you set up there, and I got your trust, that means I have to have your trust 100%. Go ahead.
And that's true. Like today, I can honestly say that I trust my husband. I trust him. I trust his judgment. I trust his insight.
Mhm.
First, I didn't. I was like, "Yo, bro, you a little off," but I think
Mhm.
I did because there was a lot of things that happened. And I was just like, "Yo," but he showed himself to be true, and trust is hard for me. So for me to say, "You know what, babe, you earn my trust," and that's saying a lot for me. You earn my trust. And it's just like, now that you earn my trust, now I can relax and be what it is that you need me to be. I don't have to work it. I don't have to be in control. None of that. You know what I mean? I trust you.
Mhm.
And like I always tell him, I said, I gave you my yes a long time ago. But I said an agreement when you reached out, and then that was just like, okay, you have my yes. So now that the trust is there, now everything else is gonna be easier because I trust you.
Right.
I don't have to second guess
Mhm.
you. I don't have to try to like, oh, maneuver around what you're saying. Never did I challenge anything that he said. What I did, I'm not that person. I'm that person. I'm the type of person I'm
Right.
gonna I'm still gonna do it. Because
Mhm.
go fight because I just can't let you just have this like that. But even in that, it's like he asked me to do things. I don't think he asked me to do things beyond my capacity, and he trusts me
Mhm.
to do it. Sometimes I don't think he think I would do it. I think I shocked him by doing certain things, and he's like, "Oh," I was like, "Yeah, I give you pushback, but I do it. That's just me." And then it's just like
Right.
him understanding that now, not him all in my ear. Re, I asked you this. Re, I asked you that. No, he's like he tells me what he want me to do, and he just steps back because he know I'm going to do it. Now that he sees how I operate, he knows I'm going to do it. I'm gonna do it my way
Mhm.
though, but with the instructions in mind. But it's just like if that trust is not there, nothing is gonna work. Especially if you have a person that has trust issues, and you have to
Right.
gain that person, and you have to understand that they got trust issues. And once you gain that person that has the issues, you got them. You got them,
Mhm.
and that means that you have proven yourself to be trustworthy. So now that
Not
I know
every time.
trustworthy,
Not every time you proven. Sometimes people just hold on to those stress issues like it ain't no tomorrow. But what I'm saying is show that effort. Apply that effort. Show that, you know, if a woman or a man been cheated on a whole bunch of times, there's no thing of saying, hey, we're gonna live together, but I'm not gonna show you my phone. You get what I mean? It's the little thing, to where it's like, yo, we could play games on my phone together, or I could play games on your phone. There's not like, "Ooh, who's that text?" Because the thing about it is, if I'm there, even though you poly, you can cheat. There's cheating, there's deception, there's lies, there's stealing. You know what I'm
that's so
saying? There's
dangerous.
betrayal. But the thing about it is, it's not minimized, it's maximized
Yes.
now. It's on a greater scale. So these are things that we have to be aware of. So when it goes and I'm dealing with multiple people, you have to get to a point where you're like, yo, I'm going to be mature about this. This is ours. It's not
Mm-hmm.
mine. I'm not living for me. I'm living to respect us. I'm living
Mm-hmm.
to love us. I'm living to bring us all peace, not just worried about my own individual peace. You get what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
these are things that we have to be aware of because we hold people trust in our hand. We hold the value of people's perception of love.
That's true.
And if you sitting over there and you going through steamroller, 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 as if you don't, it's like it's all about me. Like I said, when I first got in it, I was like, even though I've been poly since I can remember as a kid, because I always told people, I was like, look, I'm gonna have multiple wives, and people thought I was crazy. And then when you get older, they be like, yo, you told the truth. Like, yeah, that's how I feel. I know me. Even though I tried monogamy and stuff like that, you always feel lost because you're doing what that you're getting done without, and then you feel like people can't relate or you can't be yourself, And then even when you dealing with women that they not sure if they want to be poly, or men that's not sure, because the one thing that people don't understand, a brotherhood is just as important as building something with a woman.
That's true.
When you building that brotherhood, that connection, just as much, because you don't have to be, oh, poly is just all women, it's about me. No, because sometimes you might get into a dynamic where you fell in love with a woman and she's in love with multiple men. Are you gonna be selfish and say, I want to walk away? Or would you say, I'm gonna be mature and say we all can love her together? Hell, you everybody cheated. Everybody slept with someone's wife before. Majority of people. That's you sharing a woman. You get what I'm saying? Same thing. Women out here sharing men. Same thing. They be like, I don't share men. Sometimes you share them unwillingly. You don't know. I'd rather just build with each other and build up, you know, because there's sometimes you might not want to be involved with your man. Say, take them, please, take them. Your turn,
Tap
but
out.
tap out. So these are the things we have to be mature
Mhm.
adults, and we have to understand that poly is not about sex. Poly is about building. We
Yeah.
have to be understanding and talk to each other and say, yo, the important thing is, hey, let's make our partner happy. I don't need, just because she's attracted to another woman doesn't mean I have to have sex with that woman.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I need to build a relationship with that woman. That's called greed.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't built like that, it don't need to be like that. Be in your own lane. Whatever makes you you. Don't let nothing change you who you are.
Mm.
So if that's what you're doing, do it to the best of your ability. If you are making an agreement to say, I want to be with 5 women, you need to know that you can sit over there and not only give your time, but you can be emotionally there as well as physically there and mentally there for each of those women. You could be emotionally there and physically there and mentally there for each of those men. You can't say that this is what you want, but you don't want to take care of these people, because then that
Mm.
becomes your job. That becomes your
Mhm.
responsibility.
Mhm.
So, at the end of the day, you have to be and set yourself up to be successful. You cannot set yourself up to be greedy and
Mhm.
for failure, because that's why a lot of people have a high turnover rate. They searching for things that they're not prepared for, that they
Right.
didn't prepare themselves for.
Mhm.
They just want things instead of searching for what they need.
That's
But,
that is huge, and that's so right. Like, not being able to be selfish in a poly situation is the most important thing. It could easily be
hmm
done. It could easily be done. Jealousy
right,
easily can rear his head, but the most important thing is to find your dynamic. To find your First of all, you got to know who you are before you enter into this situation. Never, if you
true.
don't know who you are, not enter into a poly situation. You got to know who you are, um, and hopefully you will have a loving dynamic that you'll be able
hmm
to find yourself in that dynamic, and it will respect you in your space and give you room. So then,
Right,
you guys can. But most importantly, though, you have to know yourself, and you have to be real. If you can love multiple children, you can love multiple partners.
right.
Genuine love, like it's genuinely love between you guys, and it don't mean that you always have to be in a love affair with the woman that your husband wants. It just means that
Mm-hmm.
you guys have the mutual love for each other, and the goal is to make sure everything in the household is running smoothly together.
Right.
Probably it's not
hmm
about, it's about everybody,
True.
everybody, and your husband needs to know that you got his back. You know what, babe?
Mm.
At the end of the day, I told you yes, and I meant you're not going to be able to handle everything. I got you. And when I ain't got
mm,
you, she got you. And if she ain't got you, she better have you.
mm.
And then sometimes things should never make it up to your feet. We took care of it.
True.
You see what I'm saying?
And
And I think that, mm-hmm,
no, go ahead. And you think what?
just think that if it's not working that way, it's not going to work.
True. I feel that there should never be a disagreement that you all can't handle together. Meaning, let's say if I have a disagreement with a partner, doesn't mean matter if it's male or female, it doesn't matter if it's my partner or it's not my partner. If we can't come to a conclusion, a respectful one, right? The other people or the other person that's in the dynamic, we can table it. I say what's my part and what's my reality, right?
Mm-hmm.
You say your part, your reality, your perspective. I say my perspective. Your partner or your partners
Mm-hmm.
will hear you both out and say, listen, such and such is wrong, or this is petty. And that's what y'all do. You listen to it because a lot of the disagreement, a lot of the arguing is petty. When it comes to bills and things, just like monogamous relationship, it's the same thing. Everybody should be chipping in at some part in that house. There should be
Absolutely.
never anybody, because I always hear the thing of, if a man want 5 wives, you take care of 5 wives. But I'm like, yo, you shit like I shit. You eat food like I eat food. You run light bill, electric bill like I run electric bill. We all need to play our part. Period. You know what I mean? I
Period.
don't care what part you play in, but you better play a part. Your part ain't just having a baby and being on Instagram or social media. You get what I'm saying? Your part ain't just being a stay-at-home daddy. You get what I'm saying? Like your
Mm-hmm.
part, everybody got a part to play, and you have to play your part. You have to chip in and make sure that the relationship and dynamic is always successful and at its best. And that's what each and everybody need to hold that standard. You have to sit
Mm-hmm.
down every week or at least once a month and come up with different plans and strategies for your relationship. Hell, you need to do this in a monogamous relationship. I don't know, don't wait until you poly. You need to be doing this in a monogamous relationship. Come up with plans for your relationship. Come up with a strategy for your relationship,
Mm-hmm.
so that way you all can be successful and hold yourself successful, and be the best that you can be.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that. And especially, I don't think that the poly situation speaks on the dynamic of the household and the bills.
Right.
I was under the impression that the man is supposed to do it. Well, you shouldn't have 5 ways. You can't afford it. Yeah, he can afford it, but at the same time, what are you doing to your money? And not only that, what I know about my husband is he has goals. He has
Mm,
ambitions, right? And he also respects the
mm,
goals and ambitions you have for yourself. But for us as a household name, we all have
mm,
a goal, and that goal is
right.
his vision. So therefore, we're going to contribute to that. It doesn't mean that we're going to take advantage of who he is and live on him. We're not doing that
Mm,
because yes, he could take care of us, but at the end of the day, though, you still got to contribute, whether it be monetary or your service, whatever it is, because life happens. Let's just be honest. We understand that,
mm,
but we also going to map that out though. So I totally agree. I don't think that nobody can come into this situation without thinking that you're going to have to
right.
participate in some form or fashion. That's not it. So
Mm,
therefore, my husband has 6 kids. So he's taking on your family and kids. Understand that. So you can't be under the impression that that's solely all going to be on him. No, sweetheart. This is your budget for the month. This is what your goal is. This is what we're trying to do. And this is what you're going to contribute to the household. And we all have to do that. And unless you cannot do it. And then the discussion. but I admire him that he's that type of man. I admire the fact that
Hmm.
he thinks in that strategy mode. And I love the fact that he has goals and he's able to implement a financial goal. This is our financial goal for the year. This is what we're gonna do. This is
Right.
how we get that up. He's the type of man, and I'm just like yes, because now I know I really can trust you. Because now I know we're
Hmm.
just not sitting here and just having sex and all these kids running around havoc. No, we got goals. This is the things that we need
All
to do.
these kids and dogs and pets and what? Nah. So, but a lot of people don't realize that everyone goal is important, right? But you got to understand that, especially when you're dealing with dynamics and you're dealing with multiple people, you need to understand that is your goal tangible, right?
Mm, mm,
You can't sit up there and say my goal is to be wealthy, but how you going to get to it? And they don't know. It's, oh, I want to be a billionaire, but how you going to make that happen? You know, or you just want to ride in nice cars, but how are you going to sustain those cars?
mm.
Where's the money going to come from? Do you get what I'm saying? So you have to break everything down, and it have to make sense. If you sitting up here saying, "Hey, I want 5 wives," but you're only living in a 2 bedroom house, how that's supposed to happen? Where is it coming from? Where is everybody going to sleep? Hell, you got
Oh
5 wives.
no.
Even the wives don't even have a place to sleep. You have 3 wives that don't. Oh, they can sleep together. What if they don't want to sleep together? Did you give them that option? Do they have an option to sleep by themselves so they can have their own peace of mind? So
Mm,
where the kids going to go? Do you get what I'm saying? We have to set up goals to say, all right, it's the overall goal. So we're going to take these steps to reach that goal. Right now, we're
mm,
not in the place to be, in the place that we want to be, but we're going to sit over here and we're going to take these steps to get here so we can continuously go to the place where we want to be. So it's just like how I break everything down. I say, the first thing I say when it comes to a poly relationship, I say, why are you doing it?
mm.
If you don't know the why are you doing it? You get what I'm saying? Secondly, I say, why you pick the dynamic that you pick? Are you picking it because everybody else pick it? There's
Yes.
people in triads that don't even know why they're in a triad. There's people in quads that don't even know why they're in a quad. They just like,
Mhm.
well, you got a relationship, I got a relationship, let's try it. Do you get
Exactly.
what I mean?
Mhm.
Just because you pick a dynamic doesn't mean that dynamic is for you. Because if you're an introvert, why you have so many people around? Because just because your partner is an extrovert, they're not thinking about you being introvert, saying I don't like a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? So you have to think about yourself. You have to think about your partner and your partner's partner and what you're actually doing.
Exactly.
How many people's peace are you disturbing because you're moving in a route of this is what I want, not this is what we need. You
Exactly.
get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Oh, I want this partner to come in because she twerk for me and she looks good. Or I want this man to come in because I can have him. I can have an extra partner. He likes me, I like him. Let's do it. You get what I'm saying? You're taking on other people's baggage. And you got to understand that. And when taking on other people's baggage, sometimes their baggage have holes in them and shit just leak out.
For real.
So you have to be prepared to accept that and it's figure out how to deal with it. But their baggage is not only going to affect you, it's going to
Mm.
affect everybody in your dynamic too.
That's true.
It's going to affect the kids, it's going to affect your household. So these are things you have to understand because when I'm entertaining anybody, I say, listen, the first thing I always say is, I like my peace. And they be
Mm.
like, oh, I'm peaceful too. I'll be like, no, 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 no. I like my peace.
My piece,
It's
everything
peaceful here.
to me. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
We don't argue. We
Mm.
don't yell. We don't fight. We
Mm-mm.
can debate all you want. You can tell me how you feel, and I'm going to listen. But guess what? In turn, I'm going to tell you how I feel, and you need to listen. If all you want to do is tell me how you feel, and you don't want to hear nobody else, you need the door is right there, and you can stay out. It
Right.
gets cold at
Yeah.
the end of the day. It's not my way or no way, but you, no matter who you are control. You're controlling and teaching people about your peace and telling them the value of your peace of state, not just your peace of mind, but your peace of state that's around you.
Yes.
And once you tell them your value, they will respect it, and you need to respect theirs. Just like you want people to not bother your peace, you shouldn't bother theirs either.
Right. Right.
But what's
Right.
your closing? We're going to close this one early. What's your closing?
So the closing is this. Make sure you understand exactly what poly is. So your expectations are within that definition of poly, as well as know
Hmm.
yourself before you get into a poly situation. And if you cannot
Right,
trust the head of the family, and everybody's like the head, yes, the man is the head of the family. If you don't trust your head, if you don't trust your husband, don't enter into this situation because the truth about your personality is going to come out. It's going to be challenged. It's definitely going to
right,
be challenged. So, and then the last word I would say too, love is love. Love is love. And if this situation is going to birth that when it's right, you're going to actually love. And if you're not ready to be loved and it's
right.
not your truth, this is not for you. This is not for the weak. I'm just going to let you know that now. But and you have
Take
to
the
realize
emotion
that it's
out of
not about you.
it. Nah.
Period. It's not.
Right.
It's such a big
Mm.
picture. Just allow the picture to unfold, and that's it.
My final word is, you know, if you're whatever you take every relationship, even the ones that don't turn into a relationship, you're just talking to them. Take it as if you're signing contracts, right? And when you're signing contracts and agreement to saying, hey, I will do right by you. I'm going to communicate with you. I'm going to be transparent with you. Not
Mm-hmm.
about what I want to tell you. I want to tell you everything. But you got to also be open to hearing everything because that's getting to know me, getting to know my last few relationships. That's knowing what I've been through, and that's knowing
Mm-hmm.
my state of mind when it comes to certain situations. Don't be like, I don't want to hear about no relationships. I want to know about you. That is learning about me. You know what I'm saying? When you are accepting people in this lifestyle, I don't care if you sit up there and say, I don't want no more kids. Then don't date anybody that have young children because you accepting them, poly relationship or a monogamous relationship. You accept people's children. Don't ever say, I don't want any more children. If you do, don't date anybody with children because that is you having more children. That means them children are now your responsibility. And this is called matureness. This is called being mature. You're saying, hey, I accept everything that comes with it.
Exactly.
I accept the people that broke you. I'm not here to fix you, but I'm here to help fix you.
Yes.
Don't expect me to fix your broken pieces. You're going to bend down and pick up these pieces with me and glue them together. Because if I'm the only one that's picking up the pieces, I'm going to leave them pieces there because they're going to end up cutting my fingers. So we have to understand the importance of not only your peace but their peace, the
Yes.
importance of being transparent and honest and living in your truth and walking in your truth. Walking in your truth and living in your truth means that you're not here to disturb no one else's peace or their truth. You're here to listen to them as well as you're here to communicate with them. It's not all about sex. It's not all about, oh, this person's fine. I want to fuck them, because all that gets old. All that gets childish. And then what you have, if you don't have the mentality, then there's no point in doing it. Become grounded If you're doing a dynamic, make sure your dynamic is grounded, always grounded.
Always.
You know, that's my final word. And I thank you.